We're following up tonight on the City of Denver's new bikeway on 7th Avenue. We heard from several neighbors about the reworked intersection at 7th and Williams, which they say became worse than before.
And since then, the City of Denver has made some adjustments to the intersection. So our Rob Harris went out to see them in person and find out how those neighbors feel about the updates.
We had been concerned about the changes.
We last heard from the Douglases about this intersection a few weeks ago, after Jan crashed on her bike trying to navigate it. She and her husband were riding east along 7th. They say another bike came up in her blind spot, since the new lane requires 2 hard turns to continue east.
And as I stopped, I fell over, and unfortunately the handlebar of my bike went into my abdomen.
We'd been saying, oh, this is an accident waiting to happen, and then there we were, eyewitnesses to the accident that happened.
One of the changes from the city actually relates to Douglas's crash. This was the bike lane she and her husband were riding down. It now takes you south before crossing east to continue on 7th Avenue Parkway. The city has removed some of the flex posts at the end, making it easier for cyclists to make the turn. Jan Douglas says this is an important change for the better.
I've been watching some bikes do it even just now, and it's a more feasible turn, so they can actually look to their left to see if anyone's coming fast the other direction, which is what I couldn't do.
The city's also added a stop bar and sign to warn drivers heading south through the intersection to slow for cyclists, and it's moved other signs to be more visible. Plus, worked with Google Maps to make sure it doesn't direct drivers past the do not enter sign heading west on 7th. But even with these changes, the Douglases and many of their neighbors still feel the 7th and Williams intersection is less usable now for bikes, cars, and walkers.
I'm a biker. I love biking. I bike all the time. It's not more safe.
Mark Turner says he feels better on his bike on many of the other lanes the city has installed, but not here. He wants to see the intersection changed back to its prior form.
This is a disaster. This particular bikeway and how they've navigated it and how they've put it in without consultation with the neighborhood has been a disaster.
For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
Denver's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure tells us it appreciates the feedback it's received on the intersection, and it will keep listening for future tweaks. It also plans to more strongly enforce against drivers disobeying the do not enter sign on westbound 7th.
The Neighborhood Bikeways project is part of the city's Vision Zero mission, which is to eliminate traffic deaths. We also heard from Rob Toftness, co-founder of the Denver Bicycle Lobby. He says the city of Denver deserves a lot of credit for the investments it's making into its Neighborhood Bikeways program.
A lot of destinations, there are connections to being made now, and that's really cool. So I can get to the grocery store completely protected. I can get to work protected.
Denver's Vision Zero plan is based on a similar program developed in Sweden in the 1990s. Sweden has reduced traffic deaths by half with its program.